Vasudevaya Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirviche Chaitanyavadi Ashantate Satarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langate Girim Yatrupatam Hamvande Shri Gurun Hare Krishna. So today we are into verse number fifth verse of chapter 18. Krishna is giving his judgment, his decision, or how he judges about the acts of charity, yajna dan tapa. So Krishna says that it should be considered from the angle of three modes. So, but Krishna will take the discussion towards some conclusion. He will give what is the best way. So that is what he's doing in this verse and the next verse. Okay. So let us see this verse. Yajna dana tapa karma.
Yajna dana tapa karma.
Na tyajyam karyameva tat.
Na tyajyam karyam eva tat.
Yajno danam tapaschaiva.
Yajno danam tapaschaiva.
Pavanani manishinam.
Pavanani manishinam.
So,
Yajna dana tapa karma. Na tyajyam karyam eva tat. Yajna danam tapaschaiva. Pavanani manishinam.
Yajnadana tapakarma natyajyam karyam evatat yajnodhanam tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam.
acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance are not to be given up. They must be performed. Indeed, sacrifice, charity, penance purify even the great souls. Purport. The yogis should perform acts for advancement of human society. There are many purificatory processes for advancing a human being to spiritual life. The marriage ceremony, for example, is considered to be one of these sacrifices. It is called Vivaha Yagya. Should a sannyasi who is renounced order of life and who has given up his family relationships encourage the marriage ceremony? The Lord says here that any sacrifice which is meant for human welfare should not be given up. Vivaha Yagya, the marriage ceremony, is meant to regulate the human mind so that it may become peaceful for spiritual advancement. For most men, this Vivaha Yagya should be encouraged even by persons in renounced order of life. Sannyasis should never associate with women, but that does not mean that one who is in lower stage of life. Is it earthquake? Something shaking. No. A young man should not accept a wife in the marriage ceremony. All prescribed sacrifices are meant for achieving a supreme Lord. Therefore, in the lower stages, they should not be given up. Similarly, charity is for purification of heart. If charity is given to suitable person, as described previously, it leads one to advanced spiritual life. So Krishna here is giving some direction how to judge. So there is a reference to this word manishinam. Right? We saw this verse, I think, in the second or third verse, where there is manishinam. People say that act of charity, this should be tyajam. They should be given up. Some learned men declare that all kinds of fruitive activities should be given up as faulty. So Krishna is giving his judgment about that statement, like that some learned men say that it should be given up. But here Krishna is very clearly saying that acts of charity, yajna dan tapa, they will purify the learned men also, because the learned men are what, the intelligent people, right? So, but still that intelligence itself is not enough to purify them. So the activities which can purify are these activities. And of course, these activities, when they are done without any attachment, that's always there. So if these activities, because we have seen in the last chapter that yajna dan tapa, if it's done with attachment, it is not in goodness, it is, and it does not give the desired results of purification. It only gives the purification results if it is done without any attachment. That's the last chapter we have seen, right? The three types. So it's in passion and ignorance. It will not purify you, but it will bind you more. So of course, this is the basic, right? You are not attached to it. And so also in the second verse, I think Krishna says that giving up of activities based on material desire uh, is what renounce order of life. And giving up the results is renunciation. So in any case, we have to give up the results of the activities, to attachment to the results. That is the always a basic rule that we have to remember in all these activities. So Krishna is also giving this reference that yadna dana tapa, if they are properly done, they will purify you. How they will purify? They will give us understanding about difference between this material and the spiritual world, or say body and the soul. And that by that differentiation, actually we understand the purpose of our life. So that is purification. And by that understanding, actually we start using our this body and mind and intelligence, everything for uh, Lord's service. So that is actually purification. So Krishna is saying that this activity should not be given up. They should be performed. Right. So Srila Prabhupada gives reference of a sannyasi. So Vivaha Yagya, we say. So because Vivaha Yagya is also a sacrifice. How it is a sacrifice? We give up our freedom, or we take a vow. When in the Vedic marriage ceremony, there is a vow that I will be with this particular woman who is my wife now in throughout my life. I will support her, or she will say that I will support him throughout my life in all the situations of life, positive, negative, whatever, I will support him. The woman will say that I will become better half of this person, and I will take all the pain or all the responsibility for his well-being. So that is a great sacrifice when you do this vow. Because when you do this vow in front of fire, you always try to fulfill it. And when we try to fulfill or Mamuru, we try to maintain this promise, it becomes a tapascharya, because there will be so many situations where you will not like to follow that promise. Or you will think that, oh my God, if I have not done that promise in front of fire, maybe I have taken some different action. But because I have given the promise, I have to stick to that promise. Actually, this is a sacrifice. This is a tapascharya. So that's why, like in India now also, most of the people, or many couples try to be with same wife or same husband throughout their life. They do that tapasya, even if there are so many problems. They don't give divorce. Now, at least now it's very common, but at least 20 years back, it was not like that. It was like people will not give divorce. They will not encourage for divorce and anything. So that the thought process behind that was, once we have committed to some vow, it becomes a tapascharya, yagya. So we have to do it. And so whatever good or bad is coming from my previous karma. So this person who is in front of me may be an instrument. So I have to do that tapascharya and tolerate whatever is coming to me. So that is vivaha yagya. Not so easy. You have to sacrifice so many things. But nowadays, if you see, the thought process has changed. If you are not comfortable, you give divorce, you remarry. And so many things are going on. And so that is not yajna, because there the purpose is just to satisfy the senses. If I am not satisfied, I will divorce and I will do another marriage. So that is your own satisfaction. But if you tolerate the situation and try to be with the same person throughout your life, you get higher consciousness. uh, you purify your body and you purify your mind of the previous karma for which we are suffering, maybe. So that is how the karma gets eliminated. So that is one of way of purification. uh, So Srila Prabhupada also gives reference of a sannyasi, whether he should encourage marriage. One of the reason for that is because Srila Prabhupada was alone when the ISKCON started. There were so many, most of the devotees were foreigners. There was no one actually to guide about this Vedic practices. So what is Vedic marriage? How the Vedic marriage should be done? What should be the mentality of a couple who is getting married? So this teaching had to be done. And Srila Prabhupada was alone in ISKCON, so he had to do that. Srila Prabhupada did that. He set up so many marriages, encouraged people to do marriage, encouraged devotees to do marriage. Why? Because we can understand here that whatever sacrifice that is done for higher consciousness, that is okay. Krishna says that is fine, because that purifies you. So Srila Prabhupada also encouraged his devotees who were very young, 21 years of age, and they were in such a social culture. There were free sex and free marriages. But Srila Prabhupada encouraged them to get married and do this yajna. So Srila Prabhupada's aim was to give opportunity to these people of the world who are actually suffering, who are in problem. So I was just reading Bhagavatam some time back, and there was mention of Narad Muni. So Narad Muni, in that particular verse of Sanjay and Yudhishthira talking about where is Dhritarashtra and Vidura. And that time Narad Muni comes, and Narad Muni is there called Narad Bhagwan. So why he's called like that is because he is a preacher, and his only duty is to uh, preach people who are non-devotees, who are away from God, and bring them towards God. That is only his work. That is what Narad Muni is doing. So similarly, when all the activities are done so that people come close to spiritual activities, close to Krishna, uh, that is acceptable. So Narad Muni was doing the same thing. Srila Prabhupada was doing the same thing to bring people close to Krishna. So he took all the blames, he took all the pain to help people. Uh, so that is Vivaha Yajna. So Srila Prabhupada also said, like, by arranging the marriages of these devotees, I also get purified, because he has to get detached from that activity. Uh, so that's the way, like, pure devotees also get purified. Uh, and so that's why in the not only in material world but in the pure devotees, they will also do the chanting, they will also do the kirtan, they will also give their time for preaching, they will also take voluntarily pain to the body of eating habits and everything. Not only here, spiritual world also is same. So pure souls also get purified, and consciousness. The most important is our attachment to this body goes away. So after this, Krishna will give some conclusive decision what should be done about these activities. And that's Krishna, I think, does in the next verse. And how these activities should be done, that also Krishna explains very clearly. So we'll see that tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Any comments, questions, any points anybody would like to share? Okay, Hare Krishna.